You don't work with Barnes Tack Room anymore. Okay, I'm gonna address this one.
Seen this road 1,000 times. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground.
Hey guys, so for this video I'm following a very popular trend of reading assumptions that people online have about me. So on my Instagram, I made a question tab to ask people what their assumptions are of me, and now I'm going to read them and confirm or deny them, which should be pretty fun. I've worn my glasses to hide my tears because I'm sure some of them are going to be mean, but it is really interesting to read what you guys think of me as a person and what I do, because some of them are so far off that it's ridiculous, whereas others are so spot on that it's like, wow, how did you know that without me saying anything, you stalker? So this sweater is from my merch store. You can check it out at the link down below. Proceeds of this one go to the ASPCA because it features all of my rescue animals, and it says love is a four-legged word. So definitely check this out if you guys are looking for any fun designs, and also for people that are always wondering what equipment I use on my horses and what clothes I wear and whatnot. There's a link down in the description as well that has my Amazon store that features all those fun things. The first one is, you went to a private school. That one's really funny because it's just so inaccurate. I've always gone to public schools. I've never gone to private, and I'm glad that I went to public school. No offense if you go to private school. Nice and respectful to everyone, but you can't stand a lot of people. This one's pretty accurate because there's just a lot of types of people that I don't mesh well, that give me anxiety and that I have a hard time relating to. But it doesn't mean that I dislike them as people. It's hard for you to contain Donut's baby excitement online. I'd say that this is moderately true. Like, I am very excited, but as someone who struggles with anxiety, I try to downplay said excitement because with birthing a foal, not everything goes perfectly, and I don't want to get my hopes up for something that might not go exactly how I want it to. You have little patience for people, but lots for your animals. I would say that this is quite true because largely I just don't understand why some people are the way they are. Like, when people make mean comments, I don't understand the motives behind it, and I don't understand what compels people to do that. So I have a very hard time managing the anger that makes me feel. Whereas with animals, they're easier to read and they have more honest and genuine intentions than any human ever will. You don't have a set schedule for training each horse. You go at their pace time-wise. This is absolutely true, and this is also largely why people are often so disappointed with my answers regarding my horses that I have in training and the lack of updates. Especially with Roulette, a lot of people are like, oh, you must not like her because you don't update as much. When in reality, she's the youngest horse I own, and she has such a good temperament that I don't need to overstimulate her and bother her and fry her brain by training her all the time and doing lots of stuff. People often misjudge your honesty and think you are rude, which is so not the case. I would say largely people misjudge the way I write things online and sometimes in person, but usually it's a writing barrier because a lot of the time that I'm saying something, I'm very straight to the point. And I've gotten to the point where I don't feel the need to unnecessarily use a lot of emojis or exclamation marks or lots of things to try to make the tone of what I'm saying seem upbeat. So people assume that it's bitchy when it's literally just me saying what's going on. You really love your horses and wish that you could keep them all. This is not true. I get horses with the intention of selling them as projects, and I don't want to keep them all because I see them doing a lot better in a different type of home that they're better suited for, whereas if I did keep them all, they would largely just go to waste because I don't have time for all of them, and I don't have a use for all of them long term. So I'm perfectly happy to sell my projects, and this one is, you don't travel much, which is true. Again, I'm terrified of going on planes. I really don't like it. It gives me a lot of anxiety. I have to take sedatives when I go on planes, and traveling's expensive. In the future, I really do want to go and travel Europe. but that's very expensive, and when I do it, I want to do it right and go to a lot of different places. So it's going to be something that I'll do once I have the funds to do that. While you try to act tough, the hate really gets to you. I'm going to say this one's false because I think they're meaning that the hate really hurts my feelings. But when I get mean comments, I mostly just feel anger because I'm like, seriously, like, come on, you're coming onto my channel and taking time out of your day to insult me, someone that you don't even know. And I'm personally not at a place in my mental health where I'm at risk of harming myself because of comment, but other people are, and I doubt that I'm the only target of these mean people's actions. I act tough because it pisses me off, and while most of the time it doesn't hurt my feelings, it really upsets me to see what the state of the world is on the internet and how easily these people who probably wouldn't want to hurt the people they're attacking could end up causing harm to someone. This one says, you are accepting of people who are different from you, which is true. I frankly do not care if someone is black, brown, green, or white. I don't care what gender they like. I don't care if they have no gender. I don't care. It literally does not affect my opinion of you whatsoever, so long as you're a decent person. And I think that's the way the rest of the world should be. None of that stuff matters. It's all so unimportant in the grand scheme of things. This one says, you love, in all capitals, chestnuts, which is not true. Chestnut is not my favorite color. I don't mind them. I'm kind of indifferent towards them. They're not my favorite. I just somehow end up getting lots of them. You secretly eat pineapple pizza. Not in secret. I'm very open about my love for pineapple on pizza. I'm more of a pepperoni and pineapple gal rather than ham and pineapple. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. This is absolutely true, which is another reason why it's so funny when people critique my writing as if I don't see the flaws in myself. I am my own worst critic. When I take videos, I use them to watch them back and pick myself apart and look at everything that I need to fix and everything that is wrong with my horses in the videos. You would sell George for the right price. This is kind of a yes and no question, because even if someone offered me like $10,000 for him right now while we're training for the Retired Racehorse Project, I wouldn't be inclined to take it because I really want to go to Kentucky. In the future, maybe, but I do really like him and I want to see how he'll work out with my mom once he gets going. You wish that Dallas had never gotten hurt so that you could have him today. This is actually false. I do absolutely love my old horse, Dallas, to the moon and back, and if he ever did need a home, I would do my best to take him back, but long term, he wouldn't have been the right horse for me, and talent-wise, Milo far exceeds him. And the home that he's in is just so unbelievably perfect for him that I really don't think I could have done better for him than where he is now. You love to read. This is true, but like, I have anxiety and I'm always on the go, so lately I've been having a hard time finding the time and motivation to read, to like sit down and actually be still, because I often am moving and trying to do a billion different things at once. You dislike Raleigh and most of what she preaches. This is actually untrue. I don't dislike her as a person at all. I dislike the way that she has gone about putting information out in the past, and I don't like the way that she personally talked to me in the past or other people. But again, I can't really fault someone who is showing that they're trying to change and who is passionate about what they do. You spend too much time with your horses and not enough with your boyfriend. You would think. My boyfriend isn't a social media person, so he's not really in any of my videos or in a lot of posts because we don't take a lot of pictures together because we're both bad at taking pictures and don't love taking pictures. So people might be under the impression that we don't see each other a lot, but we do hang out pretty frequently. He's in his final year of university this year, so he's quite busy too. So our schedules do more or less work out and we do still see each other fairly often. So I would say that this one's false. You feel ashamed not being able to afford a fancy horse. This couldn't be further from the truth. I don't care. I think Milo is plenty fancy enough. People can't tell that he's a $400 rescue when we go to shows. And I don't see anything wrong with riders that can't afford super expensive horses. It means absolutely nothing. Having a nice horse doesn't make someone a better rider. It won't mean that they have better horsemanship or more horse knowledge. It just means they can afford an expensive horse. And obviously a lot of people with those horses are phenomenal riders, but your ability to buy an expensive horse does not mean anything about you as a rider or a person other than the fact that you have money to do it. You can't remember what it feels like not to be tired. That's true. I'm always tired. I love my naps. I nap frequently. You are rich. LOL. No. When I was younger, my parents were very well off, but that ended pretty quick after my dad had a massive stroke and could no longer work, and then a family member embezzled a ton of our savings, like our college savings. So then it ended even quicker after that. So I haven't really been wealthy since like elementary school. I have what I have because I work for it. The horses and stuff I buy myself. I bought my truck myself. I've bought my tack myself. It's all self-made. You like thoroughbreds more than Arabians. Absolutely true. I started out my riding on Arabians and I have a lot of respect for them and I love the breed still, but thoroughbreds 100% are my faves. You'd rather sit with your horse than go to a party with friends. This is false to an extent. I am an introvert. I don't really love busy parties, but I do like hanging out with like my close group of friends. And since I work with horses all day, if I have the option to go hang out with my friends or hang out with my boyfriend after work, I'm probably gonna do that instead of staying home with the horses. You look down on beginner riders. This one kind of hurt my feelings because I don't know why someone would have this assumption. I don't think I've said or done anything online to make people think this, but this is so unbelievably untrue. I respect everyone that's starting out in riding because it's such a nerve-wracking and hard thing to learn. And if you're a beginner, you're still learning and there's literally nothing to look down on because I was where you were when I started. You relax while riding a lot. This is very true because I'm typically a very anxious person in almost every aspect of my life, other than at the barn when I'm riding at home or working my job. Generally speaking, my level of anxiety would be a lot lower. At shows and stuff, I'm more anxious because there's lots of people around, but it has nothing to do with what I am doing with the horses and everything to do with the people around me. You don't work with Barnes Tack Room anymore. Okay, I'm gonna address this once. This is true. I decided not to re-sign for 2019. Sponsorship contracts have a 1-year term after which the sponsored rider or the company can choose not to re-sign. And I opted not to re-sign for this year. With nothing against the company, I think they have great products. They're good quality. I love riding in their saddles. I love their dressage saddle. I'm selling my jump saddle solely because the flap doesn't really fit my leg, and I want to use the money from that for something that I need more. It's nothing to do with the company. I just wanted to explore other options. You never get ill. I wish this was true. I actually get sick fairly often, but I work through my illness because I don't make money if I call in sick. And also there's no one to replace my position if I call in sick, so it screws over the people that I work for. You don't want to sell Simon. This is moderately true. I want to look into the idea of doing a paid show lease on him when he's ready. This one says you don't own a jewel. This is true. I think vaping is very stupid personally. If you do it, all the power to you, but I think it's dumb. This one says you believe in God. No. I'm sorry guys. If you're religious, that's great for you and I respect your beliefs, but I'm not a religious person. I don't believe that there's a God. I'm a spiritual person. I'm more inclined to believe in things like reincarnation and stuff. Or I do believe that people have souls and when we die, that it doesn't just completely disappear. Like I'm someone who would believe in ghosts, but I don't buy into the concept of there being some all-knowing being that created the world. This person just said, you're not friendly, you are mean. And generally speaking, if I have ever been mean to someone online in recent times, it is usually because of something they've done to me first, or people often misconstrue the tone of what I'm writing and assume that it's mean when it's just me saying bluntly what needs to be said. You don't care much about breed in horses. Personality and potential is more important. This is true, but I also do look at conformational factors when I'm actually buying something. With my 2 auction ponies, it was just the fact that they needed to be rescued. You don't spend a lot of time hanging out with friends. This is true. Most of my friends are in university or also working full-time, so our schedules don't often align. So when we do friend events, it's usually planned around people's university schedules. So it means that I'm not really hanging out with most of my friends until after April or May. You write poetry, you're quiet in class but ask questions, and you listen to alternative music. This is almost 100% true, other than the fact that I don't ask a ton of questions in class. I will contribute to discussions, but I get anxiety over asking questions on the basis of people thinking that it's a stupid question. But all of the other stuff is true. You are a vegan. No, I'm not. I couldn't go vegan with my lifestyle and actually hold weight, because I have a hard enough time struggling to hold weight now, and I'm also iron and B12 deficient, so it just wouldn't be a good idea for me. I think that there's other ways to improve how ethical you are without going vegan. You are left-handed. No, I'm right-handed, but my right hand's holding the phone, so I probably wave my left hand around lots because my right hand's doing other things. You fiercely defend fact over opinion and are willing to be proven wrong if the correct information is given. Yes, that's true. If someone can prove what I say wrong through studies, I'm not gonna keep arguing with them because that's pretty stupid. You'd rather have 1 horse than 5. This isn't true. I also don't have 5 horses. I do think that 4 horses is a little much to have in training all at the same time, which is also part of the reason why I'm planning on listing roulette before the foal comes. But if they're, I think like 2 or 3 horses is a good number for showing them and actually having time for them. Sometimes you aren't confident on Milo. This is kind of untrue because I've never really afraid on him, but sometimes I'll have moments where I'm like, he is going to throw me if he keeps doing this. Like, I'm coming off. You're an introvert. Yes, I would for sure say I'm an introvert. I don't really do well with large crowds of people, and it takes a lot out of me to entertain crowds of people and to be around lots of people at once. You're going to be a college dropout. No hate, you're my favorite YouTuber. This isn't true. I wouldn't put the amount of money that I've put into school only to not finish. I do want my degree because if I ever get injured or something, my horse career is shot for an extended period of time. So I want to have a backup plan of something that I can use. Donuts Full will be a project and you will sell it. No, that's not the plan I had for it. However, maybe that will happen. I don't like for sure guaranteeing what my plans are with horses because if I change them, people online always use them against me. You choose to exercise horses rather than teach lessons because you don't like kids. I don't dislike kids. For not teaching lessons, the thing more so is that I have more business training horses, and right now I don't have anything that I feel comfortable teaching lessons off of. You are a fake. Prove yourself. I don't even get this one. Obviously, this is not true because I post so much footage of what I'm doing that I couldn't be faking the fact that I gallop and that I have clients and stuff because you guys have seen it. You actually hate riding Milo and just ride him for YouTube and Instagram. No hate, love you. X. This is completely false. I would never keep a horse just for YouTube and Instagram, and the number of photos and videos I have of me just beaming while I'm riding Milo disprove that pretty easily. You don't have many non-horsey friends. This is also false. Most of my friends are not horse people. I do have a lot of friends in the horse industry, but most of my really close friends aren't horse people. My boyfriend isn't a horse person. I don't know. I assume because you ride in the Fraser Valley, you're a spoiled rich kid. No, I live in a very expensive area and it sucks that it's so expensive, but my house is rented. I pay for my horses myself. And the sooner people stop assuming that everyone with more than them is spoiled and rich, the sooner they may actually be able to achieve the goal of having things that other people have that they don't have. You drink your coffee double-double like any normal law-abiding Canadian. That is true. And for Americans who apparently don't use the term double-double, it means 2 cream, 2 sugar, but that is absolutely true. I always get a double-double. I hope this video was interesting for you guys because there was an awful lot of stuff that you got spot on and an awful lot of stuff that you got really, really off. And I think it's a mix between people who watch me a lot and are perceptive and able to read who I am as a person, and a mix between people who are making assumptions based off of stereotypical things like only rich people can own horses, and like obviously since I have 4 horses, people think I'm rich, but like they're self-boarded at my house. A side note is that I'm selling my jumping saddle and I need it gone ASAP. So check out my Instagram or my Facebook page to see more info on it if you're interested. It's a high-end saddle, so it's not cheap, but it's a nice saddle, and if you buy it, you'll help me get the surprise that I want to share with you in March. So I thank you all for submitting assumptions, even if some of them were mean. It was really interesting to see what people think of me as a person.